treatment of the senior senator from California today in Los Angeles. He had every right as a member of the United States Senate to talk and be an event that was open to the public and the press. Instead, he was manhandled by law enforcement, forced to the ground, and handcuffed. This is an outrage. This is an outrage. And I'll tell you what, it had me thinking, is this what it felt like to be in Germany in 1933?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is not the end, I'm afraid, but the beginning of the outrageous, lawless action being undertaken by this administration and the abuse of the people of California by abusing the senior senator from California has us outraged and speaking out. I'd now like to ask our speaker, America, to say something.
Thank you, Zoe. Thank you for bringing us together. I associate myself with your remarks and only add that this assault on Senator Padilla today was an assault on freedom of speech in our country. These thugs who manhandled the senator probably don't know it's a federal offense to attack a member of Congress. But that's not what it's about. It shouldn't be anybody in our country to be treated this way. When we speak out for Senator Padilla, we're speaking out for everyone who has a right to speak. How about it? It goes to a Trump administration press conference, seeks clarification, and gets thrown to the ground by thugs. This is just absolutely wrong. Just absolutely wrong. We want everyone to know that we see it wrong, not just for a senator or a member of Congress, but for every person in our country. I'm so glad that our delegation, which is so strong, 343 Democrats strong in California out of two, stand in solidarity with Senator Padilla, but stand in solidarity with everyone who wants to ask a question of our government about their safety. I get that.
Jimmy Gomez.
I think everyone is definitely shaken up, but extremely angry about what just occurred. And because we've seen this situation, that this administration, Donald Trump, is outside the bounds of the law, outside the bounds of the court, outside the bounds of custom and practice, and he will not stop in just Los Angeles. He's not going to stop in California. He's going to go to every state of the union to show that he is not controlled by our Constitution. And if people think that it's only in California, they are mistaken. And what we've seen is that this administration with their ICE raids, not going after criminals. I don't know MS-13 gang members that work at a car wash during the day or a day laborer site during the day or at a restaurant during the day. That's who he said he would go after. But who is he going after? He's going after a mom who's doing her yearly check-in in the courts and her kids, and then deporting them to Texas and separating them. A little girl who has cancer treatment, and the only place she can get it is here. People should be pissed off, not just because of them, but what it means about our country, where we're heading. And we're heading down a dark, dark path. Yeah. Something that is, in my imagination, never thought we would reach. But this is where we are. And if they can do that to a member of Congress from New Jersey, a senior senator who was shouting at the top of his lungs, "I am Senator Alex Padilla." His office is also in that federal building. So he had a right to be there, but they're going to make something up to justify probably an indictment of that senator. And what we want to know, we were going to ask for and demand, is that Kristi Noem come before Congress and testify about what occurred today.
That's right.
Because if it can happen to Alex, it can happen to any of those senators on the other side, or any member of Congress.
Or anybody.
Or anybody.
Any citizen.
So I want to just stress that we're not going to give up. We're not going to be intimidated. We're not going to be coward. We're going to keep fighting for our communities. And I know the Trump administration saying the word fight is some kind of declaration. And it is a declaration, is that we're not going to give up. And we're going to stand up for one another. Because too much is at stake. And I want everybody to know that we're calling on all Americans to stand up. Because when is it going to be enough? When is it going to be enough? When somebody gets shot in the streets of Los Angeles? When a member gets shot?
We got it.
You got it.
This is a continuing pattern of authoritarian dictatorship behavior. They go into communities to disrupt restaurants and workplaces, masked in unmarked cars, to separate families, people with no criminal background. They call in the National Guard without the consent or the authority of the governor of California. They call in unprepared Marines who are not trained in the civil de-escalation tactics with weapons. This is an outrage. This is authoritarian behavior that is spreading throughout the nation. It is a poison. It is a cancer. This is something that needs to end. We need to stand, everybody, as Americans against this authoritarian dictatorship, because if it's not us, it's going to be you. It's going to be you in your neighborhoods. We are outraged for the way they treated the senator of California. Californians will stand with our senator. I will stand with our senators. We will fight till the very end until this authoritarian regime is done and over, and nobody will stand in our way. And we.
Thank you. Luz Rivas, California's 29th district. I was horrified and furious by what happened by our senior senator, Alex Padilla, not just because he's our U.S. senator, because he's my childhood friend. I've known Alex for 35 years or so. He's a mentor of mine. The reason I'm here in Congress, immediately checked in with his wife and family to see. I just care about him as a friend too. But he grew up with me. He's from my neighborhood. We went to high school together. We went to college together. Not just because he's a U.S. senator. This is my neighbor. And if it could happen to him, it could happen to my constituents. And we're horrified by all of this that's happening in Los Angeles. This is a distraction. They're going after anyone. We need to stop this. This is enough. I'm done. This is enough. And I'm happy that our California delegation is standing together, and we're going to put an end to this. Thank you.
As chair of the Congressional Hispanic Caucus, we're here. I'm from New York, but we're here together. Senator Padilla was not only stopped from expressing his opinion, he was assaulted. He was assaulted. Anybody that sees the video will see that he was aggressively and thrown on the ground for simply just wanting to express his opinion or ask a question. The censoring of dissent will put this democracy and has put this democracy in danger. We want a fast and full investigation on the assault of Senator Alex Padilla.
Amen.
Amen. That's what we want. We want those people that assaulted him to be looked at and to be arrested. He was assaulted, thrown into the ground simply for wanting to express his opinion, and the Congressional Hispanic Caucus falls fully behind him at this time. Leader Jeffries.
And Senator Schiff.
Oh, Senator. Senator.
That's right.
I think all of us are still in some state of shock over the video that we just watched a half an hour ago of one of the most respected leaders